The adding-up problem and the marginal productivity theory are fundamental concepts in the theory of distribution. The adding-up problem and Euler's theorem. The adding-up problem, also known as the product exhaustion problem, is a theoretical issue in economics that arises from the marginal productivity theory of distribution. This problem questions whether the total output or total revenue of a firm or economy will be just exactly exhausted if every factor of production, like labor, capital, and land, is paid a reward equal to its marginal product. In other words, if where Q is the total output, text MP underscore L and text MP underscore K are the marginal products of labor, L, and capital, K, respectively, the problem is to prove that the total payments on the right-hand side equal the total output Q on the left-hand side, leaving neither a surplus, positive economic profit, nor deficit, economic loss. Euler's theorem resolves it by providing a mathematical condition under which this adding up holds true. Euler's theorem states that if a prediction function, Q equals F, L, K, is homogeneous of degree 1, i.e., it exhibits constant returns to scale, then in economic terms, frac partial Q, partial L, is the marginal product of labor, text MP underscore L, and frac partial Q, partial K, is the marginal product of capital, text MP underscore K. Therefore, if the production function exhibits constant returns to scale, the total output, Q, is exactly equal to the sum of the total payments to all factors when each is paid its marginal product, text MP, L, times L plus, text MP, K, times K. This result demonstrates that under perfect competition, where factors are paid their value of marginal product, which equals their marginal product in real terms, and constant returns to scale, the total product is exactly exhausted, solving the adding-up problem. Marginal productivity theory and monopsony. Critically examine the marginal productivity theory of distribution. The marginal productivity theory, MPT, asserts that the reward, price, paid to a factor of production in a competitive market is determined by its marginal productivity, specifically, the value of the marginal product, text VMP, equals text MP times P, text output, or the marginal revenue product, text MRP, equals text MP times text Mr. text output. Under perfect competition in both product and factor markets, a firm maximizes profit by hiring a factor up to the point where its price, e.g., wage, W, equals its VMP, W equals text VMP. Criticism. The theory is highly criticized for resting on a set of highly unrealistic assumptions. Perfect competition. It requires perfect competition in both the factor and product markets, which is rarely observed. Homogeneous factors. It assumes all units of a factor are identical and interchangeable, e.g., all labor units are the same. Perfect mobility. It assumes factors can move instantly and costlessly to the highest paying employment. Measurability. It is difficult in reality to isolate and accurately measure the individual marginal product of a single factor when production is a joint effort of several factors. Exclusion of power, institutions. It ignores real-world factors like collective bargaining, unions, minimum wage laws, and imperfect information, which significantly influence factor rewards. Can it explain wages in a monopsonistic labor market? No. The original, simple MPT cannot fully explain wages in a monopsonistic labor market. A monopsonist is a single buyer of labor or other factor in a market. In this market, the labor supply curve facing the firm is upward sloping, meaning the firm must raise the wage to hire more workers. The upward sloping supply curve means the marginal factor cost, MFC, the cost of hiring one more worker, is greater than the wage, W. This is because hiring one more worker at a higher wage increases the wage for all existing workers as well. The monopsonist maximizes profit by hiring labor up to the point where the marginal revenue product, MRP, equals the marginal factor cost, MFC. Since text MFC greater than W, the monopsonist will set the wage less than the marginal revenue product of labor. The difference, text MRP W, is termed monopsonistic exploitation by Joan Robinson. Thus, while the monopsonist still uses the marginal principle, text MRP equals text MFC, to determine the level of employment, the resulting wage is below the MRP, directly violating the core principle of the standard MPT, that a factor's reward equals its MRP, VMP, and showing a limitation of the original theory in imperfect markets.